Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the market's still a little flat. XRP came up a little bit, $2.46. Let's look at the important stuff. Before we get going, I'll make the statement again. First we take out Ethereum, then we do the unthinkable. Grown men will weep. XRP will be number one. That's my prediction. I don't know how long it'll take, but I think it could happen faster than people think. Look at this. This is the ETF guy, Eric Balkanis, senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. This is crazy. Our official altcoin ETF approval odds are out. Litecoin leads the way with 90%. But remember, Litecoin is just a nothing coin that was issued by, what's his face? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Then the guy sold all of his Litecoin, cashed in, and this thing's just floating out there. But this is what the government thinks we'll approve this first. Unbelievable. Then Doge, a freaking meme coin before XRP, who's already survived a lawsuit, who won. XRP is not a security, remember that? It's crazy. And all of this is because they're still underneath this case. Folks, when this case is lifted, it is on like Donkey Kong. I don't think anybody fathoms where this thing could go. Followed by Solana and XRP. We are only doing 33 act, says, but definitely possible to see futures or Cayman subsidiary, Here's his tweet he's retweeting. And here's their percentage chances. Does SEC currently view as a commodity? So Litecoin, without going through anything, what was the guy's name? Lee? I haven't seen him in so long. Does SEC currently view as a commodity? Likely yes for Litecoin, likely yes for Dogecoin. What? What? The only one that's been through a lawsuit where it's been determined not to be a security is XRP, but no, it doesn't currently view it as a commodity. 65% chance approved in 2025 versus Litecoin 90%, Dogecoin 75%. And I'm not taking a shot at the guy putting this out. I think he's being straightforward about what they think. The crazy part is, how is this even possible that this is the way things unfold? Crazy. Cuckoo. It's also a tell. This entire industry to this point, make no mistake, this entire industry to this point is fake. You haven't seen what this industry really is. You haven't seen a level playing field. You haven't seen the free market at real work. If you want to see the free market, go back to late 2017 into January 2018 before all the shenanigans started against Ripple. That was the free market. That was 60,000% plus XRP in less than a year. Okay? That was the free market. I believe you're going to see the free market again. And damn the torpedoes, because when it comes, it's going to shock everybody. Let me go back to this. This is a flash in the pan right here, a canary in the coal mine, folks. SEC and Binance moved to stay case for 60 days and find an early resolution. You're going to see something like this come out of the Ripple case sooner rather than later, folks. It could be any minute. Then Eleanor Terrett put a little more detail to it. Here's the first requested pause in crypto litigation since Mark Uyeda took over. Binance and the SEC have just filed for a joint motion to stay the agency's case against the exchange for 60 days, citing the new SEC crypto task force as having a possible bearing on the case. The work of this task force may impact and facilitate the potential resolution of the case. If they can facilitate the resolution of the Binance case, then they can also do the Ripple case, which means that this could be done before Paul Atkins goes through his hearings and all of that and gets in, which typically Eleanor Terrett said happens around April or May, when they finally come into, at least that's the way it happened with Jay Clayton, our buddy, and our other buddy Gary Gensler. Following the 60-day period, the parties plan to issue a joint status report to see whether a continuation of the stay is warranted. I expect we'll see other non-fraud cases, Ripple, Coinbase, Kraken, and others follow suit in this manner. Folks, it was always about derivatives, folks. When you hear DTCC, you hear derivatives. That's when you hear all the money. Okay? DTCC acquired Securrency, which was rebranded as DTCC Digital Assets. Securrency protocol runs on multiple chains, Ripple, XRP. Look, Securrency's protocol can be utilized on Ethereum, which doesn't really work. Stellar and Ripple, which have always worked. EOS, I haven't heard of that one in a long time. The writing's on the wall, folks. The writing is on the XRP wall. DTCC to double down. I believe XRP is going to double down. Maybe that's a title. XRP double down. Brad Garlinghouse, in case you missed it, in past years, Apex is the event bringing the XRP family together like no other. Well, actually, Brad, I'm going to have to correct you. XRP Las Vegas is the one that brings them together like no other. The records being set will blow your mind. There will be more people in that room at XRP Las Vegas than probably 2 Apexes combined. And that's the fact, Jack. Now, that's not to say anything's bad about Apex. It's a great place for the developers and builders to show their stuff and everything, and for the community to get together. But it's a second place to XRP Las Vegas. That's just the fact, Jack. And part of that's thanks to Brad Garlinghouse. He's coming. Go to xrplasvegas.com, get your tickets, and you can get discount tickets now and discount MGM Grand rooms. That probably won't last much longer, the discount that is. Subcommittee on Golden Age of Digital Assets. Now this says 1:30, but I think it's at 2:30 Eastern time. It's called A Golden Age of Digital Assets, Charting a Path Forward. And my ETHGate memory is near photographic, folks, even though the rest of my memory in my old age is not so great. I saw Eleanor Terrett had put this out. Well, not this. Eleanor Terrett had put, or no, Cointelegraph had put this out. Crypto leaders urge Congress to set clear regulations. This is the hearing that's going to happen today. Yes, it's 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. These are the witnesses that are going to be there. This one caught my attention because Coy Garrison just happens to be the guy who was Bill Hinman's senior special counsel starting in May 2018, the month before the Ethereum Free Pass speech. So this guy was advising Bill Hinman on what became the Ethereum Free Pass speech, and now he wants to participate in, just like Bill Hinman does, just like Lowell Ness does, just like all these ETHGate figures do. They now want to act like oh yeah, we're all for crypto, when they were all there when there was an attempt to create a monopoly for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's called ETHGate. And look, I'm not saying Coy Garrison, I'm not even saying Coy Garrison's a bad guy. Maybe he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, I mean, he wasn't calling the shots or anything. But it's important to note all these people that were there when that was done. There's another one that was there. Look at this. This is Digital Assets Summit 2025. We're bringing the heavy hitters with all eyes on the U.S. DAC New York City is not the event to fade. See you in March. All the Bitcoin maxis like Michael Saylor, crazy Michael Saylor, they're all coming. Brad Garlinghouse is going to be there. Let's look at some other characters. Mike Novogratz, Scaramucci. Oh, look, there's Robbie Mitchnick, formerly of Ripple, who hides his Ripple involvement, who's running the head of digital assets at BlackRock. Here's Kyle Samani. You remember Kyle Samani. Kyle Samani was him and his partner of Multicoin Capital. They're the two guys that went out on TV to brag and make sure everybody knew that they were shorting XRP because they thought, this was back in like 2018, 19-ish. They're the ones that they just had this hunch that out of all the thousands of crypto, that XRP could be targeted by the SEC to be sued and just happened to be right. And they also just happen to have limited partners in Andreessen Horowitz and Union Square Ventures who just happened to be in the room with Bill Hinman when they made the decision to do the Ethereum free pass speech. And these guys just happened to know to go out and short XRP. So I said, Brad, as long as you're at this summit, you should say hi to Kyle Samani and ask him what information he had that made him think the SEC would sue Ripple so he could short XRP. Did someone tell him what was going on behind closed doors with Bill Hinman? Is that legal? These are the questions we've always had. Folks, the writing is directly on the wall. This is Christopher Waller. Eleanor Terrett had put out the narrative around cryptos changing at the Federal Reserve. In a pair of speeches on Friday, Republican Fed governors Michelle Bowman and Christopher Waller both signaled a more open stance toward digital assets and their future in the financial system.
So one of the exceptions where the sender does want to send things faster are person-to-person remittances, where workers from other countries want to send money home and recipients want access as fast as possible to those funds. But remittances are only a small percentage of the value of global cross-border payments. So we
who has done cross-border payments more than Ripple and Stellar?
Need to weigh the benefits against the cost of a potential public sector intervention to shift incentives. So I'm still left with the larger question of whether we should be incentivizing faster cross-border payments.
Should we?
But suppose we do want to incentivize senders by lowering costs of faster payments. Whose responsibility is it to do that? Should it be left to private sector competition to drive down costs, as is typically done with nearly every other product that we trade in our lives? Or is there something unique about payments that requires central banks or payment system operators to step in to interlink their networks with the goal of bringing costs down? We have already seen examples of the private sector leveraging technology to innovate in the market for cross-border instant payments, both at the wholesale and the retail level. For example, we have seen a real-time payment system built for wholesale clients that allows clearing and settlement between global clients in seconds, with necessary compliance performed up front in less than 24 hours. Another example is the SWIFT global payments innovation, which offers improved speed and transparency for the business customers of participating banks, and by their account has been adopted by 150 banks globally. In mentioning these examples, I'm not intending to endorse certain private sector services. Rather, these newer services are illustrative of how market forces and competition can meet consumer and business demands for more efficient cross-border payments.
Who could those private companies be? I do wonder. Folks, in DAIXRP.com, we're going to talk about gold. I actually bought some gold this morning. But we're going to talk about gold because these Bitcoin maxis, I'm telling you, you write it down, you've been lied to. This whole drop gold business, this idea, oh, Bitcoin somehow, this is a ruse, folks. I know it in my bones this is a ruse. Here is CNBC.
The Trump administration is in brainstorm mode when it comes to containing the massive budget deficit. On the table, revaluing the country's gold reserves and creating 50 to 100-year bonds. Investor Peter Bookvar tackling the viability of these ideas in a note today. Peter, CNBC contributor, joins us now. He's the Bleakley Financial Group Chief Investment Officer. Peter, great to have you with us.
I'm Melissa.
Explain to us the mechanics of marking to market the gold reserves and what that does for Treasury.
So in 1934, the Fed transferred their gold holdings to the Treasury and in return got this gold certificate. In 1973, that gold, which totals about 260 million ounces or 8,100-ish tons, was valued at $42. So on the books of the Treasury, right now the gold's worth about $10 billion. But in reality, with gold at around 2,900, those holdings actually total north of 800 billion. So I'm hearing chatter, and the Financial Times over the weekend in an editorial talked about the possibility that the Treasury, in a relationship with the Fed in terms of gold certificates or maybe a repo or other ways of basically injecting the difference between the current mark of 10 billion, the current old mark really of 10 billion and what would be a new mark at 800 plus billion, and that cash would get injected to the Treasury general account.
So why does gold go higher in that scenario?
Well, it at least maybe would put a floor under the price of gold. Now, what would push it higher, we'll have to see. I think there's still other factors that have been in place over the last couple of years, like voracious central bank buying and gold becoming a really important sort of clearing of reserve transactions. China, for example, having $1 trillion of surplus, well, they're less and less recycling that in U.S. Treasuries, and they're doing it in gold. I think those trends continue on, but maybe just putting a floor underneath and really just telling people about the importance of gold in this world financial system that we're currently in right now.
Telling you, write it down. Somebody puts, like a government puts out a stable coin on the blockchain backed by gold, and the parties over, there's no reason to own Bitcoin. Who would own Bitcoin if you could have a gold-backed stable coin where everything's trackable and transparent? Game over. All right, DAIXRP.com, and we're going to talk to you more about gold. This has been one big operation to try to keep people away from physical gold. If you go right now and you go try to buy gold, the supplies of all the major gold coins and stuff are dwindling. I was on Miles Franklin, my sponsor, buying it this morning. And by the way, I can't remember. I think Miles Franklin is in the description of my video. I can't even remember. It might not be. It's one of my sponsors. But anyway, you can check it out. All right, in DAIXRP.com, we're going to talk gold. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. It's always been about gold and something that could transport that where it could be on the blockchain really, really fast. Who could do that? Here we go.